We need type of material world climbing, you know, that I did for a big chunk of my life. It was military minded. You know, we're gonna get that flag to the top of that hill, and you are gonna help or you're not gonna be here, right? So that's one mindset. And then after I got the flag to the hill a couple of times and kept getting the flag to the hill and realized that you don't feel good and you've scorched earth. And then I started to have to question that mindset. You know, I had one of the greatest runs in Hollywood history, you know, 8 #1 movies, all over 100 domestic, biggest global movie star, all of that, and my family was miserable, you know? And I had equated winning with happiness, right? It's like, we're winning, what is y'all problem? And you can learn something from the extremes also, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the athletes, right? There's a certain extreme mindset that you have to take on. I don't know that you have to take it on. What I do know is that in this society, we worship that mindset that, you know, it's can you become Michael Jordan without that mindset? You know, and that is a really powerful, difficult question. It's like most people can't sustain the mindset. Most people can't sustain that level of discipline to manifest the things that they want in their life. And there's a poisonous edge to that kind of discipline. And I've been to the edge of that kind of material world discipline in my mind. And I can tell you, you can have a whole lot of stuff and be miserable out there. We always take the things we hate the most from our parents. But, you know, from that, the gift of structure and the gift of breaking tasks down. You know, you set the goal, but the breaking the tasks down into smaller, manageable pieces was a thing that I came out of my childhood with. From sitting on this side of the experiences that I've shared, you know, in my life and in my experience, there's no such thing as a bad experience, right? There's experiences you don't like, but to define something as a bad experience for me has not been true. Everything that's ever happened to me in my life that at the time was deeply traumatic and debilitating, you know. But even out of that, as I look back on that, the pain of that experience cultivated devotion in my life to my family, and I just never wanted to have my children suffer that. And of course, I got divorced from Cherie, so I was recreating that situation, but it woke me up in a way that forced me to try to connect with my children. So the negative experiences or the things that were awful at the time, there's always the other side of the coin. And in my experience, I've cultivated only positive things out of the most negative experiences of my life. Like it's a daily practice for the rest of your life to be able to deal with the foolishness of this world in a way that's productive and kind. And that's to learn, right? We have to free ourselves from the darkness of our own ignorance. And you wouldn't call something a problem if you understood it. The problem is you don't understand it. Right? That's why you're calling it a problem, right? You don't call things problems that you have complete comprehension of, right? So the process of freeing yourself from the pain and the misery of your difficulties and your problems is in, constantly cultivating a broader comprehension of the deeper absolute truth of what's actually happening, right? And one of the things that I learned is that if I feel bad, if I'm unhappy, if I'm upset, if I'm disrupted or disturbed, the only thing that could do that is my ignorance. That's the only thing that creates misery. Is you slip into a sort of hopelessness of not being able to figure it out, and I just, for me, I've gotten to the place that life is school, right? You're not getting the promotion you want at work, that's school. Get it, figure it out. Someone in your family is sick, that's school. That's like, life is the greatest teacher there is. You just have to be willing to learn and recognizing that your pain and your suffering is the thing that the universe is poking at, so you recognize that's where you're ignorant. Yeah. You wouldn't be having those struggles in those areas if you had a deep, broad comprehension of the fundamental realities of those situations.